Hello there. Let's talk about money. Not in the stressful, how am I going to pay this bill kind of way, but in a completely different, almost revolutionary way. Imagine if your relationship with money wasn't about fear or scarcity or constantly chasing more. What if it was actually about freedom, purpose, and living a life you truly love? That's the promise of a classic book called Your Money or Your Life by Vicki and Joe Dominguez. This isn't your typical get-rich-quick book. It's not about hot stock tips or complicated investment strategies. In fact, it's almost the opposite. It's a philosophy, a 9-step program that helps you transform your relationship with money so that you can ultimately become financially independent and live on your own terms. The central idea is so simple, yet so profound, that it can change everything. It's this: money is something we trade our life energy for. Let that sink in for a moment. Your life energy is your time, your vitality, your precious hours on this planet. You exchange that life energy for money at a job. Then you take that money and exchange it for things: a place to live, food, entertainment, stuff. The book asks us, are you getting full value for the life energy you are spending? Are the things you're buying truly worth the hours of your life you had to give up to get them? Think about it. If you make $25 an hour after taxes, and you see a fancy new gadget that costs $250, that's not just $250. That's 10 hours of your life. Is that gadget worth 10 hours of your time? Maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. The point is, we rarely make that connection. We see a price tag, not a life energy tag. This book gives you the tools to start seeing it. So, how do we actually put this into practice? The authors lay out a path, a series of steps that feel less like a rigid financial plan and more like a journey of self-discovery. Let's walk through them together. The first step: making peace with the past. It all starts with understanding where you are right now. You can't figure out where you're going if you don't know where you've been. So, the first thing you're asked to do is to calculate your total lifetime earnings. How much money have you made in your entire life? Go all the way back to your first paper route or babysitting gig. This can be a real eye-opener. You might be shocked at the sum. You think, wow, I've made over $1 million in my life. And then the next, more haunting question is, where did it all go? This isn't about judging your past self. It's about making peace with it. It's about looking at that number and simply acknowledging it without guilt or shame. It's the foundation for everything that comes next. The heart of the program: tracking your life energy. Now we get to the core habit, the thing that changes everything. Tracking every single cent that comes into your life and every single cent that goes out. And I mean every cent. That pack of gum, that Netflix subscription, your salary, your tax refund, everything. This might sound tedious, and honestly, it is at first, but it's absolutely crucial. Why? Because it makes you conscious. Most of us spend money on autopilot. That daily coffee, the lunch out, the impulse buy on Amazon, it happens without us really thinking about it. By writing it all down, you bring it into the light. You can't change what you're not aware of. The book suggests doing this in a simple way. With a notebook or a spreadsheet, you create 2 columns, income and expenses, and you do it every day. It becomes a mindfulness practice, like meditation for your wallet. After a month or two, you will see patterns emerge that you never noticed before. You'll see exactly where your life energy is flowing. Figuring out your real hourly wage. Here's where it gets really interesting. We all have an hourly wage or a salary, but is that what you're really making? The book says no. You have to calculate your real hourly wage. Think about all the things associated with your job that cost you time and money, but that you aren't paid for. Your commute. The time you spend decompressing from a stressful day. The cost of your work clothes, your lunches out, the fancy coffee to get you through the afternoon, the therapy you might need to deal with a difficult boss, even the vacation you take to recover from your job. So, you take your total income and subtract all these job-related expenses. Then, you take the hours you spend not just at work, but on everything work-related: commuting time, decompression time, etc. Now, divide your real income by your real hours. The number you get is your real hourly wage. For many people, this is a staggering and sometimes depressing revelation. That nice sounding salary might actually translate to a much lower hourly rate when you account for all the costs. This number is powerful because it becomes the lens through which you see all spending. Now, when you're about to buy something, you can ask, is this item worth X hours of my life? This isn't to make you miserable or stop you from enjoying things. It's to make you intentional. It helps you distinguish between what truly adds value to your life and what is just a habit or a societal expectation. The 3 questions that change your spending. As you're tracking your money and looking at it through the lens of your real hourly wage, you're encouraged to ask 3 questions about every single item you spend on. 1. Did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value in proportion to the life energy I spent? 2. Is this expenditure of life energy in alignment with my values and life purpose? 3. How would this expenditure change if I didn't have to work for a living? These questions are like a filter for your spending. Let's take an example. Say you spend $100 on a nice dinner out with your partner. 1. Fulfillment? Absolutely. You had a wonderful time, connected, and made a memory. That might be worth the 5 hours of life energy it cost, if your real wage is $20 per hour. Great. Money well spent. 2. Alignment with values? If you value connection and experience, then yes. 3rd, change if you were financially independent? Maybe not. You'd probably still go out for nice dinners. Now, take a different example. Say you spend $150 a month on a subscription cable package with 300 channels you never watch. 1. Fulfillment? Probably very low. You might watch 1 or 2 shows, but mostly it's just background noise. Not great value for your life energy. 2. Alignment with values? If you value mindfulness or active living, maybe it's not aligned. 3rd, change if you were financially independent? You'd probably cancel it in a heartbeat and do something more meaningful with your time. This process isn't about deprivation, it's about alignment. You start to naturally spend less on the things that don't matter to you, freeing up money and life energy for the things that do. You stop keeping up with the Joneses because you realize the Joneses are exhausted and in debt. You start defining what enough is for you, the concept of enough. This is a huge theme in the book. Our consumer culture is built on the idea that more is always better. A bigger house, a newer car, a faster phone. We're on a treadmill, working harder to buy more, which requires us to work harder, and on and on. Your money or your life invites you to step off that treadmill and discover your own personal point of enough. Enough is the point where something is just right for you. It's not too little, not too much. Think about socks. How many pairs of socks are enough? You probably have a drawer full, but you only wear your favorite few. The rest is clutter. It's excess. Finding your enough is incredibly liberating. It means you can stop striving for more stuff and start striving for more life. When your outgoings fall below your income, a magical thing happens. You start saving money. And this is where the journey turns toward freedom. The crossover point. The path to financial independence. As you become more conscious with your money, 2 things happen. First, your spending naturally goes down because you're cutting out the waste, the things that don't bring you fulfillment. Second, your savings rate goes up. The book teaches you to think of this saved money differently. It's not just sitting there, it's your cushion, and then it becomes your seed capital. You learn to put this money to work in safe, income-producing investments. The goal isn't to become a Wall Street wizard, it's to create a reliable pool of capital that generates a return. The ultimate goal is what the authors call the crossover point. This is the moment when the monthly income from your investments equals your monthly expenses. Let's say you've simplified your life and discovered you can live very happily on $3,000 a month. You invest your savings wisely, and eventually, your investments are generating $3,000 a month in interest and dividends. You have crossed over. You are now financially independent. Your money is working for you, so you no longer have to work for money. You have your life energy back. This doesn't necessarily mean you stop working. It means you are free to work on your own terms. You can volunteer, start a passion project, work part-time at a job you love even if it pays less, or spend more time with your family. Work becomes a choice, not a requirement for survival. That is the definition of freedom. The bigger picture, a fulfilling life. What's beautiful about this program is that the financial independence at the end is almost a side effect. The real transformation happens along the way. By going through these steps, you inevitably change. You become more mindful and intentional. You understand what truly brings you joy and what you can do without. You break the cycle of work spend work. You start to value your time more than things. You might find yourself walking in nature instead of going to the mall, or cooking a meal with friends instead of going to an expensive restaurant. Your life becomes richer in experiences, even as your spending may go down. The book also touches on the bigger picture. When we consume less, we tread more lightly on the earth. This isn't a life of miserly scarcity, it's a life of thoughtful abundance. It's about valuing quality over quantity, relationships over possessions, and being over having. Putting it all together, a lifelong practice. So, to bring it all home, your money or your life isn't a quick fix. It's a new way of seeing the world. It's a practice, like learning an instrument. You won't be perfect at it from day one. You start by tracking your money, which shows you the truth of your finances. You calculate your real hourly wage, which shows you the true cost of your job. You evaluate your spending against your values, which helps you find your enough. You save the difference, invest it prudently, and watch as your financial independence grows, month by month, year by year. The most important step is the first one, just starting. Get a notebook, open a spreadsheet. For 1 month, commit to writing down every single penny. See what you learn. You might be surprised by what you discover about yourself. This book is ultimately about alignment. It's about aligning your financial life with your personal values. It's about making sure that the way you earn money and the way you spend money are in harmony with who you are and what you want your life to be about. It's about reclaiming your life energy and using it to build a life that is truly your own. So, the next time you pull out your wallet, maybe you'll pause for just a second and ask yourself, is this worth my life? And in that question, you'll find the beginning of a whole new way of living. Thank you.